just like you just said, the question you asked Brother Doug, why a lot of women, well, it's like this. A lot of black men, I'm going to be honest when I say this, a lot of us are not being good leaders.
Yes,
and one of the reasons is because we didn't have our fathers there either. And
that's correct.
And if a woman doesn't have her father there, I can understand, I can see where that is coming from. You know, and we as men have to learn how to be good leaders again. How I found my way through. I'm finding my way through education and walking with God, because that was the only way I could have learned how to be a good man. He the best that's out here.
Yes,
and women have to find a way to let us be good leaders. When we sit down at that table, you have to know when your role is relieved. You relieved of these duties. This is the beginning of our relationship. This is the establishment of our relationship. And we have to find a medium to work out our issues with each other. Because other than that, the same thing is going to continue to keep going over and over. Because I find a lot of women compromise their beliefs and their values for stuff that's not even worth it. You know, a lot of them are confused. A lot of them don't believe in the black man. But it depends. You know, it's a real. It's like 6 A's in one half and half a dozen in another.
Let me tie you back in, though, Brother John.
Okay.
From the perspective of black men, you know, even if not speaking for yourself, what are some reasons that you've heard brothers give for why they're not getting married outside of "I don't want the responsibility"?
Well, one, women don't want, like I said, they don't want to relieve themselves of the duties. Say, for instance,
So that authority of the home.
Right, they don't even want to. A lot of men don't even want to move in with a woman. I know I don't.
Why not?
Because she won't let me lead. I have to lead. If you're a man, it's natural for you to lead. You know, so sister, you gotta let me do that. Let me lead. You know,
So that whole psychological castration, that emotional emasculation where the man or the black man already not being allowed to show his full manhood in society comes home and has to fight another war to prove that he's a man with his own woman. Would you say that's one of the biggest problems with why we're not getting married?
It's one of the biggest problems why we're not getting married.
That's so correct.
And I'm one who believes that the black family structure has to be strengthened. It's very weak right now because of these issues. Black man, it's time to come home. It's time to get yourself together. We got to stop making up excuses because we're losing our kids, and our households to these issues is very real. And we need to get grounded with each other and really learn how to work things out and get our communication together.
Powerful, powerful. Let me come on over you to Brother Eric. Brother Eric, now you're married, okay? But that doesn't exclude you from the conversation because you can still speak on what you see in other relationships. Because we're not just speaking from our own perspective where you may be. What is giving black men the most pause as it relates to getting married and staying married? What is that thing that we need women to understand that's leading a lot of men to say, you know what? I'm just going to become a serial monogamist for the rest of my life. I ain't cohabitating. I'm not living with them. I'm not marrying them. I can't take it. What is it? And you're talking to a brother who's never cohabitated, okay, and myself. What is it that when a man and a woman comes under the same roof, what causes that tension in the home? Is it authority, like Brother John spoke of?
Well, absolutely. It's a combination of things. I would say first and foremost is spirituality. And a lot of women claim to go to church and believe in God and this, that, and the other, but you wonder when they go to church, what are they teaching them? What are they preaching about? Okay, it goes back to what Brother John was talking about. To be honest with you, you know, and it's funny because my wife would always take issue with this. I said, before I'm your husband, before I'm a businessman or anything else, I'm a man. And then she would say, well, if you that, one time I heard her say, if you that, you don't even have to say that. But for some reason, it's like women get lost in that sometimes. They don't understand the difference between, regardless of, what your position is, or how much money you make, or how much you help me, or how long we've been together, or whatever the case may be. Still, at the end of the day, that leadership aspect is important because that's the nature of a real man. Now, unfortunately, a lot of men relinquish that position and that power, and it kind of makes it hard. Like they say in the streets, you messing the game up. Because a lot of cats really mess the game up because they false feed these women and give them the impression that, yeah, go ahead, you can do whatever you want, this, that, and the other. And that's not the right impression to send by nature to a woman. So I believe, like, to really have it where as though, regardless of what, you're respected as a man, recognized as a man, and respected as a man.
What are some unconscious ways that a woman can, what's the word I'm looking for? She can almost unconsciously be eating away at your manhood and not even realize it? What are some of the pet peeves of a black man?
You know what I would say? The first and foremost that stand out the most is a woman, such as a man, likewise, should listen. And not be ashamed or too prideful to take instructions. Now, say for instance, in my case, being married, I think I'm married to one of the most virtuous women, in my opinion. You never know what happens behind the scenes. And I'm just saying based upon the proof or not going through different stuff. But by the same token, if it's that way, you have to, in a certain sense, as a woman, give your man that autonomy in terms of, if I give you certain instructions, okay? Now, you're a certain way, you're a virtuous woman. Now, I ain't fall down from heaven, I'm trying to come up from out of hell. That's why I'm digging you like that. So it's like you talk about,
I'm hearing you say, I need you to back my decision.
Right, yeah. And not only that, I need you to help me to even raise my standards and do it in a way where as though it's tasteful as opposed to distasteful.
Powerful, powerful. Let me come to you, Brother Dave. What is it that's keeping black men from marrying black women other than irresponsibility? Of course, we probably have some brothers out there who don't want the responsibility of taking care of the wife and the child in a home. We're not talking about them. We're talking about all the other black men who are not married, might be a little afraid about getting married, a little hesitant. What is it going on inside that home once we move in together that's leading a lot of black men to say, I can't take this no more?
I think my opinion would be like the control or the challenge issue. Like going back to what Brother John was saying, a lot of women don't want to let the man be the man, don't want to let me lead. Like when you two-step and you dancing with me and you're a woman, I lead, you follow me. But no, you want to challenge me and you want me to follow you or go against, the grain, per se, so to say. And that in a relationship will not prosper. You have to have that. That's why my first one was like compatibility. You have to be compatible with that woman. A lot of women, like you said, black women, they come up without a father, so a lot of them don't respect men because they have an issue with my father wasn't there, or my father mistreated my mother.
And not just that, but also, not to cut you off there, what they have been led to believe about their fathers.
Right.
So the father is absent, but the child may not know why.
Right.
And what I
It's always two sides.
as a therapist,
they get the bad side from the mother.
Yeah.
The mother gonna cut them down.
yeah, because I deal with a lot of situations, and then I'm going to let you finish. I just want to throw this out. I deal with a lot of situations where the child thought the father didn't want him. And now the child is in 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade. They ran into somebody who knew their father because they looked just like him, and now they're bringing them together.
Yes.
And the dad is like, I've been looking for you my whole life.
Yeah.
Right.
And every time I tried to get in contact with you, your mother ain't want no parts of it. So I'm not the reason that I wasn't there.
True.
Your mama's the reason. And it upsets the whole apple cart. So now the child don't know if they can trust the custodial parent, who's the mother, and the father, they want to trust him, but he ain't been around, and it might not even be his fault. So I'm gonna let you finish, but that's a good point you're making. Not just the father not being there, but the interpretation as to why he was missing.